Alright, how you doing guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to make the Outer Worlds review. I've had a chance to playing this game for a very long time already. I have finished it as well, and I gotta mention this. It's a very impressive game. I can definitely see where's the hype coming from, and I can also very much see why this game has so many praiseworthiness as well. I definitely wanted to mention a few of the things, right? I'm gonna mention some of the flaws in it, but you know what? I would even say or argue to say that they're more like a nitpicking than anything, but real flaws, real bad things, negatives, there really isn't much. Okay, some argue to say that's just the combat, right? The combat could be a little bit of a drag and maybe a little bit lackluster in some cases. Yeah, I can definitely see that. There's a lot of implementations from Fallout as such, and maybe that's the only real flaw I could perhaps see. And you know, again, that's just nitpicking. And personally for me, I still pull it off through with the combat. And mind you, because the controls are so good, how you can aim, how you can actually operate your character that doesn't drag along, it actually made combat so much more pleasant personally for me. And I actually really appreciated that. Another flaw is regarding the end of the story. Don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But at the end of the story anyway, it pretty much, there was a rushed job for some odd reason. It felt like as the developers were running out of time, and they were just pulling all the assets that they had into the one playthrough at the very end, just to make sure they could wrap things up nicely. And they did, but it was kind of rushed. So I don't know if that's considered to be a flaw, but personally for me, I think it was a flaw. Now, another flaw I could definitely give out, even though I probably should have been starting with positives first. I'm gonna get into negatives first, I guess. The other flaw I wanted to mention is the difficulty setting. Okay, so there is a normal, hard, there's also a supernova. It's very difficult. At first, you might have already seen my live stream. I actually was playing on a hard difficulty. I've gone through to the third planet, and for some odd reason, the damn enemies, they spiked the hell out, and I could not really kill them as quickly as possible. And I kept on dying because, you know, obviously they do a lot more damage on you if they hit you. So at the end of the day, I decided to go with a normal difficulty, and that's what I did. Okay, so I went with a normal difficulty. The difference is substantial. Now, it's not like a little bit of like, you know, difference. No, it's substantial. Basically, if you play this game on hard, I would only recommend if you are a big fan of these Fallout games, if you take a long time to get to know all the mechanics in this game. And mind you, a lot of people would say, well, if you want to start up playing this game and have a little bit of a challenge, play it on hard. No, this will be a much bigger challenge than you will be expecting, especially since maybe like you don't just play Fallout types of games and the Outer Worlds at this point, of course. And that's the thing for me. The difficulty spike is quite marginal. I cannot imagine how difficult the supernova difficulty is. It's basically, well, I do understand it's my fault for not getting to know everything that this game has to offer at first, so it would be easier for me on the normal, the hard difficulty, but I had to tone it down because it was getting way too difficult. But when I toned it down to normal difficulty, it seems quite easy. I just breeze right through. I don't find a challenge. And you see, like, there isn't no good middle ground personally for me. So maybe that's another flaw I would consider. But again, that's more of a nitpicking again. I want to mention. I cannot imagine how difficult the supernova though is. I'm very worried about that because, like, you know, you don't want to make it way too difficult of a game because, like, then you're just gonna have Dark Souls. But then at this point, wouldn't it be easier just to make Dark Souls-esque difficulty with this and have no choices of other options? But again, that's just that's a very unobjective, you know, optional talking anyway. All right, well, I think I'm done with the negatives. I definitely want to mention, and probably already triggered a few of you. But I wanted to mention like the dialogue system. It's a very good and very heavily influenced. Obviously, you have these options as such when you start up the game. For example, you can put it into your combat, or the strength, I should probably mention, persuasion, lying, intelligence and as such. So it will be easier for you to get to know people, have more options. Like maybe you want to go with the intelligence, then you obviously need to be a smarter fella. Persuasion, just to persuade somebody if they want to go into combat with you, as an example. Maybe threatening. Maybe that can be helpful as well, because when there's a very tough opponent, or maybe there's a weakling and he's being an asshole, but then you threaten him, but he does it for you. Then in this case, you see, there's so many options in this game. It's quite insane, and because of this, there's an extreme replayability value that you can definitely enjoy in this game, playing again and again in different territories and different ways that you can explore and have going through this game. Now, obviously, you would not be able to see everything in one play session. You will need to have at least 2 to 3 play sessions to see absolutely everything, if not perhaps some cases more. And that's kind of it's a very good thing. One of the moments in the world, and mind you, this is not an open world game, this is more of elements of the open world game. And I think that is far better choice. You know what makes this even crazier, right? When you go through this world and see new things, right? It seems, okay, well, what do? I just see enemies in front of me, sometimes could be friendlies. Kill them, continue my adventure. Is that it? No. There's much more to it. If you know Fallout, obviously you would know what to expect from here. One of the moments when you need to go inside the place, right? And oh yes, here's another flaw. Loading screens. There is kind of annoying quite a few of these places that you need to enter, but then it's quite a long loading screen. By the way, I played it on my PlayStation 4 Pro as well, not PC, so there's a difference again there. Well, anyway, as you enter this place or this territory, this area, right, maybe you can encounter with some cannibalism, and yeah, wow, that was insane. I love that moment, for real. And basically you need to talk your way out of it. Like maybe you can lie as an example, but you need to have a very good lie, a matter of lie actually. For example, maybe you need to kill those fellas. It's your choice until you find out the secrets that they hide. And so that makes it so much more special personally for me. I really like these sort of little moments in the world that you would have never expected to see. It's not like from an objective to A to B and seeing the story play throughout. But this makes it so much more special personally for me, and I love it. I love to see these weird monstrosities, and there are plenty of them, mind you, as well. And I really have enjoyed my time playing it through. Right, there's like maybe monster hunting you can do as well if you wish for some of the bits basically currency in that world anyway. Of course, there's a lot more options, right? Side quests, and there are maybe companion quests, tasks that you require to do, of course, to get some kind of rewards or money at this point, and you continue on playing it through. Now, also in the cities, the towns, the districts that you get to go, it's extremely easy to steal, right? Unless of course if they're looking at you or they are on your vicinity. Some of the people, NPCs I want to say, they do walk around, they look and around the place, so you need to be very checking everywhere to see if they're there or they're not. And so obviously, big advice, do steal everything. Whatever you see, try to steal it no matter what. And it's actually extremely forgiving. For example, this fella is looking at completely different direction, even though you're like 2 meters away from him. You can still steal the stuff right behind his back. So that makes it actually kind of interesting personally for me. And yeah, at the end of the day, I am very much enjoying the game. I don't yet know if I would want to go for a platinum trophy, because this game is extremely demanding on that part. I'm not saying that it's just that it's grindy. I'm not saying it's repetitive. God, it's not repetitive at all, guys. Seriously, it's not like you're doing the same thing again and again. I'm actually very surprised to tell you that I actually really like this game. Because why am I surprised? Now here's the question. The question is because before, I believe it was a couple weeks ago, I made a video regarding that something is up with the Outer Worlds, and I was concerned about it. I was worried about it. But now, I'm not. Now, if you want to know more about this specific story, I will leave down links below in the description for you to check it out. and see how this will turn out. I will mention one thing. If you have guys seen the PAX, I think it was West or East anyway, basically they presented this gameplay of the Outer Worlds, it was broken as hell, it was unfinished as hell, and I was extremely worried. For example, the music in the background was non-existent when you would traverse through the world, but now, I don't know how, but they managed to pull this off. You know what makes this even crazier? This is not a AAA standard of the game. These people, right, the Obsidian developers, they were on a budget with this game and they managed to create something even better than Fallout. Fallout 3, I actually do think it's better than Fallout 3. Actually, no, my apologies guys, I did not really play Fallout 3 or the New Vegas, so I can't comment on that. But I definitely can tell you that this is definitely better than Fallout 4. And I gotta mention, this is definitely better than Fallout 4, 120%, yes. This is insane. And Fallout 4 didn't really have any budget issues. Bethesda were the ones, the creators of it. And look at how the Outer Worlds turned out to be. Can you imagine if the Obsidian were able to have all of their rights into the game with no budgets, problems, difficulties on that part, and their own vision and creation? Now, a lot of you might say Fallout New Vegas is the game that they did. No. I mean, no ties, none of that. I'm talking about their own true vision, not the continuation from Fallout or a similar wise story from there. Do you know what I mean? Or the similar aspects at least. No, I'm talking about completely their own vision. If that's the case, if that's what they pulled it off here, and they did, it's fantastic. And I cannot wait to see more of the projects that they got in store. I really do hope that they go with the continuation of the Outer Worlds and the sequel to it. Because if that's the case, if that's what they want to do, I would be down for it and I will respect them for life, and of course I will be big fans of the Obsidian, because obviously I never got a chance, I should probably reference that, the Fallout 3 or Fallout the New Vegas. That's just, my personal life stuff and going on through that time anyway. But still, at this point, there's so many games coming out, I don't think I'm gonna get my hands on it, or at least not play through, because those games are extremely demanding. Due to that, you need a lot of time to play through them. And plus, on top of that, new games always come out. So yeah, I think I went all over the place with this review, guys. I didn't really make a script for it, that's why I'm kind of low on time as well. Red Dead Redemption 2 will be coming out tomorrow on the PC. I will be making a review video on that, but that will be coming out on the 7th of November, the review later on 7th. After it will be Death Stranding. I'm definitely planning to release a review from Death Stranding before the Jedi Fallen Order comes out. So yeah, do expect Jesus, I'm making a schedule for myself, and there's a lot of games I need to play through. But you know what? I'm excited for all of them, and that's gonna be extremely a fun time to be part of this gaming session series. I don't know. Well, I guess that's that. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. See you guys all later, and yeah, have a good one.